Welcome to Pathway to Success. I'm your host, Dr. Michael Hunter, with you this evening, and we have a very awesome and amazing, very important guest with us this evening. We have Jennifer Showalter. She's a business owner, speaker, and she's running for our PBC School Board 6, District 6 here in West Palm Beach, Florida. Jennifer Showalter is a business owner and graduate of VA Tech in Design and Communication. She has 24 years of professional experience in marketing, advertising, communication, and as a brand specialist. She's a mom of three beautiful children, all gifted, two with special needs, HF, autism, sensory processing disorder. Jennifer, as a senior who is a valedictorian, a sophomore, and she homeschools her fifth grader. She has been an advocate for reading, early intervention, and special needs students for 16-year-olds. Jennifer started her campaign 11 months ago, running for Palm Beach County School Board District 6, and she's a speaker to organizations and issues facing our schools and county today. Jennifer Showalter, welcome to
Hi.
Pathway to Success.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
We're
Glad
so
to be here.
We're so honored to have you on with us this evening to share the great things that you're trying to do and impacting in our community. Tell me something. How did you get started, and what propelled you into running for the school board district here in West Palm Beach?
Well, that's a great question. I have been a parent advocate for 16 years. So I've been in the trenches for a long time trying to help our kids. But what I call it my Pearl Harbor moment, was when my two special needs sons' mass exemptions were denied. And not only that, but just going to the school board meetings repetitively and seeing just how parents were treated, I knew I had to step in and get in the fight.
I like that. And did you ever? You said you have two children that are special needs, right?
Yes, my two sons are high functioning autistic. They have motor planning issues. One has apraxia, one has dysgraphia, one has ADHD. We pretty much have a laundry list of special needs between the two of them.
Well, you're the right person to run for this, because we need a person like you to make a difference for these children. Did you have a mentor growing up? What was your role model while growing up as a child?
I would have to say my dad. My dad served his country. He was drafted for Vietnam. He served his country in the Air Force. He ended up flying B-52s and 101s.
B-52
and he was part
wow.
of SAC Air Defense. So he had nuclear bombs in his payload. And also my great uncle Carl, he was in the 101st Airborne during World War II. And I used to sit at his knee and listen to his stories about how he dropped in on Normandy on D-Day and just what he experienced during World War II. And so I knew that, our freedoms are capable of going at any moment. So we have to nurture and take care of them.
And that's what I like about you, because you have a strong background of patriots who have served this great nation, the United States of America. And now you have stepped up.
Yeah, this is never on my to-do list for my life. But when duty calls, you step up.
And I like that. Tell me something. What does CRT mean?
CRT is critical race theory, and it's actually Marxism in disguise. It's something that was developed over at the Frankfurt School in Germany in the 1930s, and then it came over and landed in Columbia University in the 40s. And it kind of went underground and incubated all throughout academia, and it just started trickling down.
You're a great historian. I'm enjoying this interview with you. And what is social emotional learning? Because that's another terminology.
Right.
I'm sure everybody wants to.
Yeah, and that's kind of a hot topic right now too. Yeah. It's social emotional learning. It's SEL for short. It's actually part of critical race theory. It's a program designed. They say it's supposed to help kids learn how to communicate and deal with their feelings, but it's actually, like everything else with critical race theory, it's an inversion of what it's supposed to be. So social emotional learning actually, to the point, it shuts down part of the brain to logic and reason, and it actually makes it much harder for people to have a discussion about topics They get so emotionally charged that they become unruly, that they literally can't hold a conversation. And we're seeing the fruit of social emotional learning in our society today.
And what are some of the challenges, being that you have stepped up now as the voice that is petitioning and trying to bring this change for our children? What are some of the challenges that you faced so far?
There's resistance. Um, it's it, it's hard for people to connect the dots between all of the different aspects. Like the sexually explicit material, that's actually in part and parcel with the critical race theory. It's all part of a larger agenda, and that's it's so. I mean, nobody wants to actually think, wow, people are really doing this. This is something nobody likes to acknowledge evil, and that's pretty much what it is. And so it takes a while for people to come to grips with the fact that we do have this, and it is in our schools, and it is in our country, and we have to do something about it.
And so you have this is an amazing task. I want to also celebrate your husband. Also, he's been strong support,
Yes.
and your family have been really behind you in this great task and this great to make the change in our school district.
Yeah.
Wow, with such a move and your effort that you've been putting on, what have been the response so far that you have found in your
Well, overwhelmingly, it's been amazing. And anybody listening, thank you so much for your support. I Word of mouth is the strongest form of advertising, and the word of mouth ground game I have is outstanding. And it's very humbling to me because I'll be in the parking lot, and if anybody sees my car, you can see it from space. I have all this written on my car. I have it written on my car because I'm very honest, and we need that. We need that transparency and communication. And so anyway, I'll be in a parking lot and I'll have people coming up and saying, "Are you Jen Showalter?" And I say, "Yes." And they give me hugs and they just say, "Thank you for standing up. Thank you for speaking out." And to me, I'm winning every single day when that light bulb goes off over someone's head and they understand what these issues are and they truly understand the impacts that it has not only on our students, but on our country.
That's very powerful. What do you think the schools are missing right now that needs to be in place to bring about a major change for our students or our children in the school district?
Academics. Honestly, I did a deep dive.
Academics.
I've done a deep dive research on just how poor our performance levels are. And I have that in a 4-part series that you can find on my website. But part 3 deals with the dumbing down of our students. And because if you
dumbing down, what do you mean?
And I call it the de-education of America. Because when you teach people what to think, not how to think, they won't question what you do.
It's true.
And so our performance levels, we have like an A rating graduation. So 90 to 100% of our high schools are graduating of the seniors, which is, an A rating. But if you look at the college ready index, which is from U.S. News and World Report, and that deals with how many students are attempting at least one AP or IB exam or a course, they're failing. And then if you take a look just even at the reading and math proficiency scores that you can find on Florida Department of Education's website, we're getting Fs on those too. So how are you graduating that many who are failing?
No, that's
a great question.
That's a great debatable question and one that should be answered. Mm-hmm. So what are some of the change that you want to see happen that we need to change around our curriculum?
First off, we kind of need to do an audit of the entire system and just see what's going on. First off, there's no communication between any levels. The school board's certainly not listening to the parents or the students. And frankly, they're not listening to the teacher staff as well. I know a lot of teachers and a lot of admin, and they're very frustrated. They get censured and demoted for questioning. So it's a very caustic atmosphere for the employees. And parents are feeling left out of the equation. Students just feel like nobody's listening to them. So we've got to work on that. We also have to work on the curriculum. There's been a lot of press recently about the rejection of all the math books from DeSantis and the Florida Department of Education. Because of that, they still had Common Core in them. They still had CRT and social emotional learning. And so we need to take a really hard look at what we're actually providing for education materials. And then we also need to provide a can-do atmosphere. In the mission statement for our school board, they said that they take full ownership of student academic mastery. That should be on the student. And there's counties. My district is huge. District 6 is basically everything west of Route 7 441, and that goes all the way to Belle Glade and Bohokie. And I've been talking to officers, elected officials in that area as well, and they're saying, one strike and you're out with those kids. And people are feeling very hopeless. And that is something that is part and parcel with critical race theory. Why try when the system's rigged against you? And that's part of critical race theory. Right. So my thing is we've got to reestablish self-initiation, self-responsibility, but also having that positive atmosphere that says, I believe in you and you can do it. And if you make a mistake, that's okay. We're going to learn from it and move on. That's something that's really missing from our schools.
And what I like the points you just brought. These are strong, valid points. But what are also some of the strategies that you have that will bring you to the forefront to win in this upcoming election?
Oh, for me to win or for?
Yeah.
Well,
strategies. What strategies do you have? Because we've just identified the problems and the flaws that's going on. So what are some of the strategies that you have, that will bring you to the forefront to win and step into that position where we can have that great change?
Right. Well, one of the things is I'm trying to bring education and information to people. I am all over social media. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Telegram, Facebook, and my website. And I provide information, articles that people would find useful and helpful. I am at every single school board meeting. And I have been even before I started running for office. And I speak on behalf of the people. So people can take a look at my speeches. I have them up. I believe it's on my Rumble channel or Venmo. I have a lot. But one of the things is if people, and I'm always trying to get people engaged. If people understand the issues and they understand the impacts, they're more motivated to vote. But it's not just about getting me elected, because honestly, the only reason I'm running is for the children and our country. And somebody needs to be on that board that is going to follow the will of the people. We have been ignored and dismissed for too long. And the whole reason to be on that board is to represent the constituents. So that's why I'm running. And people value the honesty that I bring. They value the information that I bring. And I've been called refreshing. So that's how my strategy.
Well, I can feel the sincerity speaking to you in the studio before we came on the set, and there's that love and that desire to see change for our children. I believe that you're the best candidate. That you're a candidate of change. When you look at what your father has brought also to this great nation, change in fighting for the U.S. military, Air Force, your uncle, and now you're bringing change.
Yeah.
You stepped in the trenches. It's like you put on your helmets and your boots and you're geared up and ready.
Well, somebody's got to step in and fight for these kids.
Yeah.
And in turn our nation, because our schools are ground zero for indoctrination. And if we don't turn that indoctrination faucet off at the source, which is our schools, it's going to be game over for our country.
And we can't afford to let that happen. We're going to take a very short break on Pathway to Success, but we're going to also listen to one of your speech, and then we'll return right back here with Mrs. Jennifer Showalter.
Hi, I'm Jen Showalter, candidate for Palm Beach County School Board District 6. I am running because we have too much indoctrinations in our schools. There's sexually explicit materials that need to go, and our academic performance is severely declining. I've done deep dive research on this, and you can take a look at it in my 4-part series, How Marxism Has Invaded Our country through our school system. And you can take a look at that at my website, www.votegenpbsd.com.
Are you looking to advertise your business? Look no further. Pathways to Success is offering 3 30-second slots each Sunday of the month for $100. Please contact 561-331-1524 for all inquiries.
Blessings to you all at Pathways to Success. My name is Javon White. I thank you again so much for allowing me to have been on your show, and thank you for your continuous prayers because I feel them. Ever since I've left the show, I remember after the show when we had a conversation, it was spoken into my life that I would be in a biopic, like an autobiographical movie, and that happened. But I don't think that that's like the one, but I appeared in a movie called Bezos. It's Jeff Bezos' life story, or how he created Amazon. I play a role on that show, or that movie called Nico Lovejoy. So that'll be out soon. Right now that's in circulation for like different film festivals. And I've also appeared in other films. One as a detective on a movie called Secret Society 2 with Vivica Fox. Another movie, a couple other ones that will be on Lifetime. One is called A Homecoming to Remember, and another one is called Her Obsession. And I've also been in a few commercials, and actually had my first appearance on a billboard in Miami for Florida Blue. But anyway, those are some of the different things that I've done with my career as far as acting, and I'm also working on creating a few other things and working on some projects of my own. So that's an update from me, yours truly, Javon White, and I thank you all, and my prayers are with you as well. Thank you for including me. Blessings to you.
Hi, I'm Jen Showalter, candidate for Palm Beach County School Board District 6. I am running because we have too much indoctrinations in our schools. There's sexually explicit materials that need to go, and our academic performance is severely declining. I've done deep dive research on this, and you can take a look at it in my 4-part series, How Marxism Has Invaded Our Country Through Our School System. And you can take a look at that at my website, www.votegenpbsd.com.
Are you looking to advertise your business? Look no further. Pathways to Success is offering 3 30-second slots each Sunday of the month for $100. Please contact 561-331-1524 for all inquiries.
Welcome back to Pathway to Success. I'm right here with Jen Showalter right here. I'm running for District 6 at West Palm Beach, Florida. And what a great task. A mama task she has taken upon herself to represent our children. Our children are our future. Our children are our tomorrow. And so, Jen, we have always hear politicians are always known to make promises made by, while running for office or board or in presidency. And when they obtain the position, they don't deliver. What will set you apart from those of those who have done that before?
Well, two things. One, anybody that knows me knows that one of my core values is honesty. You can clearly see, what you get, what you see is what you get. I am, some people say I'm kind of blunt force trauma truth, but I value honesty above pretty much all else. But the second thing is I am a businesswoman and I am a mom of three. I am not a career politician. I am a parent who was tired of being called a domestic terrorist and gaslighted for having concerns.
Yeah.
So I'm running for a political position, which technically it's nonpartisan. So I'm running to affect positive change for our kids, and that's the whole reason I'm running.
I like that. What do you currently do to bring about awareness, you know, or provide counsel or comfort for the parents who have children with special needs?
Yeah, well, I have worked with parents for a long time, and I've given them guidance on possible therapy helps and places where they can get therapy. I've gone into IEP meetings and been a parent advocate in those meetings to help guide the process. But in general, I'm providing a lot of information. Again, I have a 4-part series. You can view it on my website, www.votegenpbsd.com. I go into a deep dive on critical race theory, on the sexually explicit materials in the schools, and I do a deep dumpster dive on just how bad the de-education, I call it, of America is.
Oh. Do you have any sponsors? Because you are really making changes. You're extremely honest, extremely honest. You have a great passion to see change for our children, and kudos to you, because you are truly a patriotic and a brave American. I'm sorry, I must say that.
Well, that's the
that
thing.
wants change.
Yeah, well, and you know what? I've gone through a lot in my life, and that has helped me develop a very strong backbone, a backbone of steel. So that's another reason I'm tired of being lied to, and I'm tired of seeing the same old, and time's up. We've got to get in there, and we've got to save our kids, and we've got to save our country.
And what are some of the advantages that you have so far in running in the Palm Beach County?
Well, I mean,
so far.
I mean, for the most part, I've had a lot of support. There's people that know in their gut, they know in their heart that something is intrinsically wrong, but they don't necessarily have all of the issues. They don't know the hows and the whys, and that's where I come in, because I'm an advocate. I'm not going to take that hat off. And if people understand what the issues are, and they understand how it involves them and how it affects them, they're going to be more motivated to vote. But I'm not just doing this because I'm running for an office. I'm doing this to affect change. So for me, I'm winning every single day when that light bulb goes off over someone's head.
I like that. Do you have any, for persons who desire information, more information, because you have so much information, you have really opened up my eyes to so much sitting here on set with you. How can they find you? Do you have like during the week, like you have one evening where you set apart, where you meet with parents, special needs parents? Do you have anything set up like that, like seminars?
I do. I have, you can go to my website, and again, it's votegenpbsd.com. And I have events all through the month where I have meet you in the park events where, you know, people with kids, you can come meet with me. We can talk about the issues. I can share information with you. I have coffee talks. I have one coming up this week at the Dunkin' Donuts in the evening, 6:30 to 7:30 out on Southern, close to Palm Beach State College. So I even have Zoom events. So if it's hard for people to get to a location, they can text me and we set up a Zoom conversation. So I try to meet everybody where they're at.
I like that. When is the voting slated to start?
Well, the election is August 23rd, and it's winner take all. There are no primaries for school board. So if whoever gets 50% plus one vote wins in August. If that doesn't happen, then the top two go to a runoff in November. So it's very, very important that you get out and vote August 23rd.
Get out and vote. Vote Jen in. Do you have any new business ventures that you're currently working on?
Well, I am a graphic designer. I freelance, and I am also a essential oil certified specialist with doTERRA.
Essential oil certified. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I have suffered a lot of injuries and illness throughout my life, and I had some catastrophic injury to my ankle, and I was in PT for 3 years, and the PT said there's only so much I can do for you, and he sent me to an acupuncturist, which helped somewhat. And then she introduced me to DoTerra and said, this might help you even further, and it certainly did. I am walking without boots. I don't have to use my knee rover anymore.
That's good.
So it's been really helpful, and I used it on my son. He had anxiety. He actually had in 8th grade, it was involuntary emotionally induced seizures. And nothing like getting a call from the school saying your son's on the floor having seizures. And so we did everything that the doctor said, and we just weren't finding any relief. And so I started using some of the products from doTERRA, some essential oils, and even the pediatrician was like, wow, this is amazing. So he's been doing much, much better.
So really, truly, you're in the healing business.
Yes.
You're in the business of helping, healing our children,
Right.
right, and bringing healing and also greater level of
Right.
academic success out,
Right. Yeah.
as well as also for persons who need to tap into that has injuries. They can say, Jen, I have this ankle injury, or my wrist while playing tennis.
Right.
How can I? What should I use?
Yeah. Well, and and I'm now in the homeschooling. My third, he's not.
Right.
My 5th grader was having a lot of harassment at school, and it got to the point we needed to pull him. And that's one of the things with special needs. Not a lot of the private schools can handle their IEPs, and so that was an issue. So we're actually using a private online school, which is it's a combination of homeschooling and teachers. So he has 2 online classes a week, plus he meets with the teacher a couple times a month online. They have online chess club, online art club. But I am part of helping him learn his material and making sure that kind of proctoring his tests and that. So it's been I hadn't done that when I started running for office, so that was an adjustment. But honestly, I've been really thankful to be able to have that time with my son, and we're making it work. We're making it work. So for all you out there that are concerned about, would like to homeschool, but just don't feel like you have the time, you can talk to me. And that's the thing, is one size does not fit all. My daughter, Sydney, she's valedictorian. Way to go, Sydney.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Congratulations.
She's graduating this year, valedictorian of Wellington High School. There was a lot of people that told me, you got to pull her back. She's really accelerated. She is. She's not normal, but as we say in my house, normal is setting on the washing machine or the dryer. And so I had to just let her go at her pace, and she has thrived. She's blossomed. I wouldn't be doing this for my other 2 sons. They're not her. And that's the point, is we need to reach kids where they're at and use methods that suit them best. And so I'm a big proponent of charter schools. I think we need to provide options for students and to make sure that we use de-escalation techniques. The policy 5.181 was out in the news recently. I spoke up about it, especially considering I have 2 special needs sons. And that's the thing, is the schools don't necessarily understand that these students, a lot of them on the spectrum, have a physiological condition that manifests in behavioral tendencies. And then, so they work on the behavior, but not the actual root cause. And then they blame the kid for it. And 63 to 85% of all the bullying happens to special needs students. And so I'm a big, I don't think anybody for any reason should be bullying. My son, Logan, was in the Do the Right Thing campaign. He was published twice about his incidences being bullied himself. So I'm on a mission to protect kids, protect their academics, protect their mental, and protect their physical.
I like that. It's amazing when I think about you. Super wife, super mom, Super advocate. You no, that's and that's a great compliment because you're happily married
Mhm.
and you have three kids and you're doing all of this. You could have sat there being selfish and said, "Well, this is just for me and my own family," but you're trying to help every special needs kids in this community.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
that's amazing.
we have got these children can't necessarily defend themselves. They need us to
Right.
stand up and defend them. And I'm not going to sit back when I said I have to look my kids in the face and say I did everything I possibly could to defend them, defend the kids in the system and all the kids coming.
Yeah.
So that's my mission. That's my goal.
Uh, maybe I should have asked this, but autism has affected your family,
Yeah, I have two on the spectrum. It's they're considered high functioning, so they are mainstreamed. And they are both gifted. My middle son routinely gets perfect scores on the PSAT.
That's great.
So, and my younger son actually has a higher IQ than his sister, who's valedictorian. But they have problems. Like with my younger son, he was having problems reading. And so I wasn't getting a lot of help. And I turned to my sister, who happens to have a master's degree in special education up in Virginia. And I told her what was going on. And she said, "Have they tried colored vellum reading strips?" And I said, "What's that?" And so she told me about it. I talked to the school. They said it's too expensive. Well, they're $11. So I bought a whole bunch of sets and I provided it to the school. Yeah. And I provided, well, honestly, their hands are tied a lot of the times. There's some really great people working in the system, but there's so much red tape. But I'll get to that in a moment. But I got them, they put them in the IEP, and Lexel jumped hundreds of points in a month. And then we come to find out later that he has Erlin syndrome, and there's only one person in the state that actually diagnoses Erlin syndrome, and she's over close to Tampa. And it's a 2-day test too. But now he has special glasses, and that he went from hardly being able to read a sentence to plowing through an entire story.
Oh, congratulations. You're doing a great job.
Yeah. So I try to promote education and awareness of Erlin syndrome, autism. Pretty much, there's a lot to talk about. Dysgraphia and apraxia. Not a lot of people know about those too.
I've never heard about Erling syndrome in all my until you brought that to me. So
Yeah.
knowledge is power. That's why it's very important to go on our website and follow Jen Showalter, because you can learn so much for those who have special need kids, and you need to understand how to take care of them, how to help them to grow. What are some of the resources that you can share with our viewers who are struggling with special needs kids?
Sure. There's Erlin, I think it's erlin.com. You can go to that. They have I definitely suggest actually getting the test done, but there is a self-test that you can download off the computer. There's books that you can, the same thing, the Out of Sync Child is another really good one, and that has a self-diagnosis test within the book. That actually, well, for my second child, that's what I used to diagnose him to begin with. My first son, at 2 months old, the doctor was saying, I think there's something wrong. But one of the things that I would like to point out is that in Florida, there's not a lot of awareness about this, as you can find in other parts of the country. So you can go to autism, since there's sensory processing awareness websites. And I can actually put some of those on my website as well, just so you have a connection.
That's good. And so in the month of August,
yes,
I want everyone to go out and vote for Jen. Believe me, she's creating something new that's needed in our school district right here in West Palm Beach, Florida, and she's making us more aware of so many things that I myself wasn't aware of. I want to thank you for coming in.
Well, thank you.
And showing us some pathway to success.
Yes.
And we wish you all the best.
Thank you
and
so much.
success.
Thank
in
you.
the upcoming general election.
Well, thank you.
Wow, another great week, another inspirational week on Pathway to Success. I want to enjoy this week and remember our special need kids. And just go on your website.
www.votegenpbsd.com.
Go out and vote. Have a great week.